Yes, thank you very much for this introduction. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. My name is Dr. Heiner Lehr, and I am the CEO of Faromatics, a company dedicated to increasing animal welfare while at the same time helping to increase also farm productivity. Over the world, every year we create about 60 billion chickens. 3 billion of which never make it through the process because they fall ill and die. Broilers consume about 250 million tons of feed every year, 3 million of which we could easily save if that worked, if only we had better digestion management. Some of the broilers also suffer from scratches and bruises because of stress in the barn. And we could save 300 million lives if only we had better stress management in the farm. The way we are doing this is by our first product, the Chicken Boy. The Chicken Boy is a robot that moves through the house. It is created after 10 years of research in what is called precision livestock farming, so the application of modern technologies, sensor technologies, IoT technologies, and so forth, to the livestock sector. We are currently in 3 European countries, and we are going down for 5 in the next 2 months, and we are about to close a global distribution deal, allowing us to go global next year. And I'm struggling with this, sorry for this. I wanted to show you how the robot goes through the barn, but I'm finding that difficult. My apologies, maybe it starts now. Okay, it doesn't. So you have to imagine that this is, I don't know why this doesn't work here. So you have to imagine that this is a robot suspended from the ceiling. It's a worldwide first ceiling suspended robot. It zigzags through the house and measures all kinds of aspects of the chickens. Now you can see it moving. It moves slowly, so that the chickens actually move in this picture is an artifact because a farmer walks down the lane. The robot, the patent pending robot, is fully autonomous, so you hang it in the farm and you basically forget about it. There is no maintenance until you clean out the farm and you have to clean the robot. It measures aspects of animal health and welfare in 3 areas: ambient conditions, health and welfare, and equipment failures, using multiple sensors, and first and foremost, artificial intelligence, big data, and deep learning. We provide farmers with a cloud solution to access the information. You can see here in the green little bars, you can see the 3 different areas. You can also see where you can stream directly from the farm to take a look, how your broilers are going about, what they're doing. Then we create, in ambient conditions, in the first area, we create these maps. We do this for 4 different values. We measure temperature, relative humidity, air speed, and CO2. So we get something like a temperature sensation for the chickens, but also a measure of air quality. This you can use for different purposes. Here is one example where we have an issue with a heating element in the top left. On the top you can see temperature, in the bottom right you can CO2. So you can see that the chickens are avoiding this cold zone. This was a broken element that we could detect very fast. You can also use this for structural problems. Again, here a farm where you can see on the top temperature, on the bottom CO2. So you can see that you have consistent problem in this farm with a particular area where basically a door is and a badly insulated wall. So you can find this out. Or the placement of sensors. In this particular farm we're sexing, so we're differentiating the birds by sex. And we can discover that there's a problem with CO2 because we don't have a fixed sensor, but we're moving around, we're measuring the CO2 all over the place, helping you with keeping good air quality. But the area that we find much more interesting than climate is health and welfare, where currently we're doing 2 things. We are measuring dead birds. So we find the dead birds, which is not so complicated if you walk through the barn, but it is very helpful if you can study where the birds die. But the second service is even more interesting, where we analyze the feces of the animals and we detect intestinal problems 24 to 48 hours before they actually arise. Well, sorry, before the farmer recognizes them. With this, you can optimize the feed-water ratio, and you can also, I'm really sorry for this presentation, you can also detect health problems, intestinal health problems, gastroenteritis, for example, earlier. This is very often the difference between treating the birds with acid or treating them with antibiotics. Here you can see a graph of our accuracy in classifying the droppings. In the area of equipment failures, we are we can detect defective drinkers. So we look at the drinkers and we find the ones that are broken. And we can find wet spots in the litter, which are very important, because if there are wet spots, the chickens develop with illness of the foot that leads to lameness and ultimately to death. So in summary, right now the chicken boy can do excrement classification, recognition of dead and severely compromised animals, wet spots in the litter, and my presentation again, wet spots in the litter and defective drinkers. We do maps of temperature, relative humidity, CO2 and airspeed, and we can stream directly from the house, video if your internet connection is good enough, or audio if it isn't. We can take pictures at any point in time, space, or any incidents, and we have about 20 alerts that you can subscribe to, that you will get directly on your mobile phone if there is any abnormal condition. So this really helps farmers understanding their birds better, understanding what could be wrong in their chicken house, and therefore then taking appropriate action, which leads to the increases in productivity. The robot pays back in about 9 to 14 months, so roughly a year, because we get better digestion management, we get early disease control, we get reduced mortality, and we get fine-tuning of climate control and reduction of bruises and scratches, in addition to some labor changes. Over the lifetime of the robot, which is projected to be 5 years, we get for 40,000 birds, 6 rounds per year, we get about 68,000 euros extra profit. This is a picture of our robot. We have also received some rewards already. We're in, for today, we're into the competition for the reward on animal production, so let's see whether we can make it. And with this, I think that was everything I had to say. Thank you very much.